Welcome to your life. I hope you like it. Welcome to your life. Welcome to your life.
Hello and welcome to your life celebrity astrology. I'm Pastor Rosemary, the Astrology Angel, and thank you for joining us. Now, we've been blessed with a brand new Pope Leo XIV, and we're going to have a look at both his Western astrology and Chinese Zodiac Sign to find out if his choice of names, Leo XIV, has any significance in astrology. We're going to find out. Now, Pope Leo XIV astrology starts right off with a Virgo sun and a Virgo moon. And also stelliums in Virgo, Leo, and Libra. So it's very interesting. So the Virgin is present. Now, Pope Leo XIV has a Virgo sun in the 6th house. And why that's significant is because the 6th house also is associated with Virgo. And it has a lot to do with a lot of perfectionism and a lot of being very analytical, having critical analytical skills, and being very selfless, but also has to do with habits and health. We're going to talk about that more later. And the Virgo moon also in the 6th house. We have a few online sources that listed Leo as moon since it's on the cusp sort of, but most other people list Virgo. And when we got, all of the information about his birth date and his birth time, which it's hard to find his birth time. It's really hard to find it. We found only one source, but when we found it, we went ahead and did our own calculations, and we came up with Virgo sun, Virgo moon, and also some things like a Pisces ascendant that were in question online. So we're going to go with what we found in our own calculations, and that does match most of what it says online. But I just wanted to let you know that some people say different. And then, of course, there's all kind of crazy things about the ascendant, because a lot of people thought the birth time was not available. And they had default settings, or they did arbitrary settings for fun. But the actual time, we're going to get here in a minute. Now, Pope Leo XIV was born Robert Francis Prevost. His middle name, his birth name is Robert Francis, interesting, Prevost. And September 14th, 1955 in Chicago, Illinois, and the time unknown in most of the internet. So we had to search real hard to find the time that pretty much looks like the right time. And again, a lot of people use 12 noon for a default setting, and some went on and on with, they tried it with 4 o'clock and 8 o'clock, and others tried 7 o'clock. People did all kind of things for fun. But what the one listing that was very impressive said 1912 hours, or that would be 7:12 p.m. Universal Time Coordinated -5, because that's Chicago, Illinois time. And as you know, the birth time seriously affects the ascendant, the rising sign. Now, Pope Leo XIV has a potent 4-planet stellium in Virgo, possessing the divine tone of I Analyze. A strong planet stellium of 3 planets in Leo, having the divine tone of I Will. And a powerful 3-planet stellium in Libra, bestowing the divine tone of We Balance. Again, Libra, the only one with We Balance, not I, but We Balance. So Libra has a lot to offer in that it looks at the group, not only the I, but also all of us together. And that's very important, of course, for a pope. Now, the Pope's sun and moon in Virgo is akin to rooster in Chinese astrology, while his birth year of 1955 yields his Chinese zodiac animal of wood, goat, or sheep. And goat sheep people have strong tendency to become rich in their lives. And this is due to having fortunate fates and auspicious destinies. So he's got quite a lot of good luck and fortunate fate in his chart. Now, they are empathetic, that's important, sensitive, and caring natives that treat others tenderly, fostering synchronization, unity, and serenity. Now, goat sheep people can be bashful, okay? Though they are very artistic, they're inventive, and they're also unwavering. So they're very ingenious and very unwavering. and firm in their stance. So the Chinese zodiac animal of goat sheep is in similitude with the Western sign of Cancer, the crab, and Cancerians, that corresponds with the fourth house of hearth, home, and family, associated with nurturing, motherhood, breastfeeding, nursing the breast, and feeding of the family. So hearth, home, and family, fourth house associations, again, a lot with the Blessed Virgin, because although the Blessed Virgin represents the sixth house and Virgo the Virgin, still all of the motherly assets are here in the fourth house for her aspect as mother. Because in some statues we see Mary as being very much a virgin, a singular person, and sometimes we see her just holding her child to feed him, and sometimes we see her with the whole family. So there are different versions, just like there's different versions of Jesus. In some he's more prayerful and reflective, and in some he's got his whip out and he's turning over the money changers tables in the temple. So many different types of really characteristics that actually line up with lunar mansions, but that's another thing we'll get to later in another video. But in this video we want to talk about his astrology signs. Now you might think I thought that goat was Capricorn. It's not like that, because the Chinese animals don't necessarily match up with the exact animal in the Western astrology, okay? So goat, sheep, it used to be sheep more, now they're saying goat more, but sheep or goat, it's a time of year that's the same as Cancer the crab, okay? So in China, they paid attention to certain animals like a certain time of year, like in May they might in China pay attention to what the snakes are doing. But in the Western countries, they were paying attention to what the bull was doing. But it was the same time of year. So ox is Capricorn. Chinese ox is Capricorn, the goat, see? And the snake associates with Taurus. Chinese snake associates with Taurus, the bull. You see how it is? But it's the time of year. So understand that, and then it won't be confusing. Because it's really very grounded. The Chinese system is very grounded, and religion's based on the Chinese zodiac, because Mother Mary, she stands on a snake, and the first Fatima apparition occurred in May 13th in 1917. And 1917 in Chinese astrology is year of the snake, and May is a month of the snake in Chinese astrology, and that's when Mother Mary appeared to the three children, okay, in Fatima, and she stands on a snake. Now, Kuan Yin, her counterpart in China, stands on a dragon. And the year of the dragon comes prior to year of the snake. So you see, the religion really is based on Chinese astrology. Just like in Noah's Ark, it's based on the I Ching and the characters in the I Ching, the trigrams that you form, hexagrams, 64 hexagrams out of 8 trigrams. And you get 8 people in a family from these trigrams, like father is heaven, and the youngest daughter is lake, and that kind of thing. They have trigrams. These characters and the story are the same as Noah's Ark. It's the same story. And we're going to make another video soon here about Year of the Horse. Coming up next, because this is now Year of the Snake and Year of the Horse is next. And we're going to make a video about that. But what we want to tell you is that in the Bible it talks about the tribe of Dan, and the horse rears up and there's an adder in the path that makes the horse shy. That's directly from Chinese astrology, that the snake year comes before horse year, because in the Jade Emperor's race of 12 animals, the snake, you would think that the horse would be able to beat the snake in a race, but the snake scared the horse reared up and the snake got in there and went ahead of him, and then the horse came in after him. So you see, it really is based on Chinese astrology. All of it, and some Mayan astrology too. That's where you get the 144,000. It's about years. It's about a big predictive wheels within wheels, like in the vision of Ezekiel. Those are clocks, big epochs and smaller time frames. That's why it's predictive. It's about Chinese astrology and Mayan astrology. Okay, so with that said, we're going to move along now to Pope Leo's Sun, Moon, Venus, and Mars. Okay, so Sun, Moon, Venus, and Mars are where we have his placements in the sign of Virgo. And the tarot card representation for Virgo which is the Hermit. And I'm going to show you that here. The Hermit. Okay. The Hermit card. And see, this is where you get the Mary statue from, where she's a virgin, Virgo. And in the rune stones, it's a pillar of ice. You've heard of the Ice Queen, or the walking ice cube, or a tall glass of iced tea. When I talk about women, they're talking about the Hermit, which is actually a man in this card holding a lantern, guarding his light in the snow. But in the rune stones, it's just one pillar. It's a pillar of ice. It's Isa, ice. And so understand that this is one representation of a Virgo characteristic, but you see the correspondences, yeah? So remember, Pope Leo, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Mars are all in Virgo, and the Hermit is a representation for that. Now, the Strength card is the icon for the sign of Leo the Lion, okay? Leo the Lion, the Strength card, okay? For which his placements are in Jupiter, Uranus, and Pluto. So Jupiter in Leo, Uranus in Leo, and Pluto in Leo for Pope Leo the 14th. Now, the scene in the Strength card, if you can see that, this is the larger jumbo version of the white Rider-Waite deck. Okay, the scene in many decks and in this Rider-Waite deck shows the Virgin taming or perhaps simply caring for the lion, which gives us some insight into how he selected his name of Leo the 14th, since Leo means lion in Latin. Okay, the abundance of Virgo in his chart, seen in his plentiful stellium in the sign of the Virgin, is more than sufficient to bring out the best in this Leo planetary placements and resulting stellium. Now, of course, even in the cards, you've got a hermit, a man that's a hermit in this, to represent Virgo the Virgin, but still, the Virgin, the female Virgin is represented here in taming the lion, because it's a archetype, yeah? All right, now, the next one is that the Justice card, it's like a judge, okay, is the emblem for the sign of Libra. Once again, shining a brilliant illumination upon his stellium in Libra for Pope Leo, being the sign of law and order. So we're going to get into that more here, because more about his Libra placements is very important, because this affects him, and we're going to show you how his Libra, he has a Mercury in Libra in the 7th house, and the 7th house associates with long commitment, and so does the sign of Libra. So again, very powerful double whammies here, okay? Now, Pope Leo the 14th, and remember his name is Robert Francis Prevost, so that Francis is still in there, but it's Pope Leo the 14th, okay? Now, Pope Leo the 14th has taught law. He's taught law, okay? Which corresponds to Mercury being the planet of the mind and thoughts. And Mercury in Libra would easily form in a person that is able to be a teacher of justice and the legal system. So right there, you see how it all comes together. Now, Virgo, we have a Venus in Virgo in the 6th house, again, with Virgo and the 6th house, both associated with habits and health. Virgo is a perfectionist, especially hard on themselves, and are all about service to others. Virgos have a strong and disciplined work ethic. So he's going to do his job, and you better do yours. Okay. Now, Virgo, we have Mars in Virgo, and the 6th house give, again, the 6th house, a lot of 6th house placements, habits, and health. Okay. And the Mars in Virgo 6th house gives Mars, the god of war, a seriously analytical eye to do things the right way and to pay strict attention to precise details when dealing with the formidable weapons, armed forces, and espionage networks of military preparedness or military campaigns. All right, so understand that. Now, we go to Leo. We have Jupiter in Leo as part of those stelliums, okay? We're talking about the planets that form the stelliums. Now, and some other ones too. Okay, now Jupiter in Leo, the 6th house. Okay, the 6th house. Jupiter is a planet that is father of the gods in ancient Rome, corresponding to expansion, health, and wealth. Jupiter is generous, very generous. Leos are compassionate, confident, and willful. August is the month of Leo, and Pope Leo XIV is a member of the Order of St. Augustine. Another correspondence with Leo. Now, he has his Saturn in Scorpio. Saturn in Scorpio in the 8th house, and Scorpio is extremely creative and secretive and a real crowd pleaser. A real crowd pleaser. With that said, Saturn gives much discipline and self-regulation to the Scorpion's mystique, and the 8th house is that of milestones, okay? And that's also going to be associating with Scorpio, and it's all about important milestones, the 8th house. Now, we have Uranus in Leo, and Leo and the 5th house have similar characteristics. So we have Leo, we have the Uranus in Leo in the 5th house. Leo and the 5th house have similar characteristics, so they both are about children and creativity. So the 5th house is about your progeny, your creativity, your children, your creativity, and Leo's about success and the sun and all of that, and the compassion and a lot of creativity and imagination. Now, Uranus is a planet of rebellion and is the planet of the kind of revolutionary spirit, giving the Pope an imaginative and resourceful command of how to either lead, control, or deal with uprisings, especially when it comes to struggles for humanitarian changes in the world, since Uranus is one of the planets that rules over Aquarius along with Saturn. And also keep in mind, this is about creative projects or inventive projects. So he can really do a lot of new things. Now, Neptune in Libra in the 7th house. Libra in the 7th house, Libra and the 7th house possess traits that are alike, traits of long commitment. Now, Neptune is a planet of being a dreamy, magical, phantasmagorical being that holds vast psychic powers, artistic sensibilities, and a distant feeling, causing others to sense and experience mystery. They'll have an experience of mystery. Now, this combination gives rise to a characteristic of being an intuitive, also idealistic, visionary when it comes to justice, regulations, and obligations. Again, a lot of room for him to do a lot of really good work and change things. Now, Pluto in Leo in the 6th house. Leo being the sign of progeny and ingenious endeavors, while Pluto is a planet of transformation and rebirth. He will most likely be a catalyst for spiritual, humanitarian, and religious revivals. So get your revival tents out. That's going to be happening. The 6th house being habits and health, there could be some focus on the well-being of the religious, along with some stylish new garments for nuns and priests to wear. So we'll see how that goes. And him being Italian, well, you know it's going to be stylish and chic. All right, now, the ascendant in Pisces in the 1st house. Pisces is akin to the 12th house of spirituality, while the 1st house is all about the self and appearances. Okay? Now, clairvoyant and otherworldly Pisces natives express their mystic attributes through how they present themselves and how they display their supernatural or shamanistic aspirations to the world. Now, the ascendant sign shows up in a person's wants, needs, desires, and provocations, also what drives the individual forward, as well as any exchanges with other people, including sublimations or the coping skills utilized to really guard the self or those that the native protects, those that they care for, those in their charge. Okay? Now, due to the Pope's time of being sort of vague or listed as unknown on most astrology articles as far as the birth time, one finds online many of these have, again, the default position. So when you see all these different ascendants, don't get confused. Okay? So we had a lot of different calculations going, but the ones we chose at the end of the day came out with the one we gave you, and that pretty much matches what seemed to be the most sturdy charts out there. And again, Pisces is from that, ascendant is from that 7:12 p.m. Chicago time of birth. Okay? All right. So we're really looking forward to the reign of this new Pope, and we're very blessed, and everybody's praying for the new Pope. Thanks for joining us, and join us again soon. We'll see you then.
Welcome welcome to your life.